Hey, hello everyone. How are you? Can you write in the chat and say your name, where you're from? Possibly you can share what is your biggest challenge so that we can discuss them right now. So, possibly you can just say hello in the chat and then we can uh, discuss about your biggest career challenges. We will just wait a couple of minutes until more people can uh, um, be here as well. So currently, I see 3 people online. So if you can say hello, and then we can talk a bit. Hey, hello, Eduardo. You're very welcome. It's great to see you here. So if you have any challenges you're going through, just share uh, with me now because we have some time. Because we're gonna be waiting a little while until more people can be here with us. So Eduardo, if you have uh, any questions or anything you want to discuss, just send a message. Just send in the chat. Hello, Samarth. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, but I'll do my best. And if you guys say, please, where you're from, or if you have any particular question about your biggest challenges, just go ahead. Hello, Vladimir. Nice to see you here. And if you want to send your questions, or just say where you're from, because then we can make networking and then we can get to know each other better. Not only me, I mean everyone that is here. So Vladimir, nice to see you. Samarth, nice to see you here. Eduardo, really nice to see you as well. So any questions specifically about career or about technologies you are learning, or challenges or failures you're going through in your career, something that's being challenging? Okay. Eduardo says, I'm so confused nowadays that I even don't know my challenges. Yes, Eduardo. So it's good when you are confused, actually, because it means that you are still free, right? If you are not confused, it means that you are being just following the crowd and following the herd. So the fact that you are confused is good. And one way to build clarity is to, for example, take some notes of what you want to achieve exactly, or maybe even taking a walk. If you take a walk in nature, I think that's a great way for you to clear your mind, and for that you can reflect about um, your future actions. So that's a way you can uh, build some clarity. But if you have if you're confused about something that's very specific, let me know. Just put in the chat, because then we can discuss your your concerns more quickly and more precisely. Hello, Amy. Nice to see you. And guys, if you can say where you're from, just to start. Hey, Samarth. Samarth also has a question. Please suggest the thinking process and what steps a developer should take for migrating a Java 7 application to Java 11. Yeah, it's that's yeah, that's not an easy question to answer, Samarth. Oh, awesome. Leandro, he's from Brazil. Amin is from Iran. Oh, nice. Awesome. So there's no easy answer for you, Samarth. I would say that try to understand better the Java 11 language, and I believe that you're gonna have more issues with the dependencies rather than the Java language. Because if it was just a Java language, you could migrate from Java 5, from Java 1 to Java 11 very easily. But the problems are usually the dependencies, because, for example, when modules are introduced, um, like the the dependencies have real encapsulation. So you know that there are very a lot of frameworks that rely on reflection, and they break encapsulation very often. And with modules, this makes it a little bit more difficult. So what I would recommend you is to try to understand better Java 11, and keep in mind that your biggest challenge to migrate from Java 7 to Java 11 will be related to your dependencies. So probably you're gonna have to update your dependencies as well. So if you are using an old version of Spring, you're gonna have to update your Spring version to one that is compatible with Java 11, because the Java language itself, you wouldn't have any challenge because it's retrocompatible. So if you have pure core Java code, your code shouldn't break. So my suggestion uh, is to make a research about the dependencies you are using in your project, because this will be your biggest challenge. Okay, nice. We have Leandro from Brazil. We have Eduardo from Brazil as well, but he will be going to Lisbon, which is really cool. It's awesome there. Kedar is from India, and Vladimir saying good luck, Eduardo. Awesome. And Vladimir is from Serbia. And yeah, we are in all parts of the world, which is awesome. Okay, Vladimir is saying, from my streaming just froze a minute ago. I just refreshed the browser, and now again everything is fine. Okay, awesome. Hello, Mauro from Ecuador. Awesome. Yeah, we have people from all over the world here, which is awesome. So I think we are ready to start. Do you have any other questions, guys, before starting? Because if you don't have any questions, we can get started. I'm gonna start sharing my screen, okay? So I will share my screen, but if you have any questions, just put in the chat, because then I will revise the chat from once a while to check if you have any new questions, okay? So just a minute. I will just share with you. Okay, Annie has another question. How to be a Java clean coder? I recommend you to read the clean code book if you didn't read it. I also recommend the Clean Architecture book, because it's another amazing book that will help you to have the ideas to create cleaner code and cleaner software. I also recommend the Code Refactor book from Martin Fowler. This is a very good one. Okay, so you can see my slides. So we're going to be talking about the 10 mistakes that get Java developers stuck in their careers. So they are actually principles. We won't be talking about technical stuff here, because I believe that before your technical knowledge, there are principles, and those principles are very important to be mastered, because if you don't know those principles, you won't take action, and you won't even believe in yourself that you can go to the next level. Okay, we have another question. Eduardo, Does a good developer need to have the knowledge of how to build the entire system on his own? Yeah, that's a tricky question, Eduardo. I would say that we don't need to know uh, operations very deeply because, for example, there are platforms we can use that we can deploy our application very easily. I will give you an example, Heroku. So you can deploy your application very easily, and you can use one instance for free. So I would say that in terms of code, yes, you need to know how to build a whole application in your application. Could be in Java, in Python, in Golang, whatever language you prefer. But I don't think you need to know like AWS or JCP very deeply, or you should know about all the possible monitoring tools. I don't think so. I think that's far more important for you to know how to solve business problems in business implementation. You should know a bit about DevOps, but you don't need to be a specialist um, in the DevOps area as well. So you can, for example, build up your skills to create high quality code, because if you do that, you're going to create massive value to the company. Because if you create clean code easily maintainable, then you will be you prevent bugs more easily. Like if there is a bug, you can create a fix far more quickly. So I think we should, like, developers should not put a huge pressure on themselves to know everything, because that's not possible. So um, what I recommend you, Eduardo, is to know the tools that are available in the market. You don't need to know them very deeply. You need to know them enough to solve uh, common problems. But you don't need to be specialist in everything, because if you try to do so, it will just waste your time. Because if you want to go really deep into one thing, there will be something new tomorrow. So what I highly recommend you instead is to focus on fundamentals. So if you can be really good in object-oriented programming, or in software design, or in algorithms, or in how to build reliable code and clean code, I think those are very good skills to work on. Okay. Okay, we have more questions. Okay, nice. Kedar, hello. Lots of practice, in my opinion. Yes. Nanguron, could you please suggest a few best sources to learn system design and best practices? So there is a very good book called Data Intensive, that is from O'Reilly. Data Intensive Applications. So I can send the link here to you on the chat. Just a moment. This book is really good. I also highly recommend I highly recommend you to get the Cracking the Code interview book, because there are some explanations about system design, and I think the reason you're asking about that is regarding interviews, right? So the Cracking the Coding Interview, it's an excellent book that will massively help you on interviews, and it will put you ahead of the other candidates. Because guys, interview is just a game, and you have to know how to play the game. Otherwise, you're gonna lose. Um, okay. Could you please suggest? Okay. Best practices, as I said, I recommend you to read the Clean Code book or the Clean Architecture book or the Refactoring book from Martin Fowler. Those books are excellent. What are your views on Java for machine learning and AI applications? Um, so this is not my specialty area, Samarth. I have a friend who is a specialist in AI. Maybe he could help you better. I can recommend. Um, I can send his Twitter here. You can follow him. He has really good content about AI and machine learning. But I would say I've seen some presentations like in a macro level. Java can be used for machine learning and AI, and it's a powerful way um, to get started with those uh, technologies. System design. Okay, Neha. Hello, Neha. Very welcome. System design. How to go about this when asked in interviews for mid-senior level? Yeah, I also recommend you, Neha, to read the Cracking the Code interview book, because you're gonna see far more details there, and you're gonna learn far more by reading the book. So that's what I recommend you, because it will explain to you about coding challenge, about the system design interview, about everything you need to be approved. Not only the top companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and so on, but in smaller companies, because the smaller companies are just copying what the big companies are doing. So if you read that book and if you get prepared from that book, you're gonna be far more prepared in an interview. Any other questions, guys? If you have any other questions, I can keep on answering you. Otherwise, I can start the presentation. Okay? So I'm going to start the presentation, and if you have any other questions, I'll go back here in the chat and I'm going to answer to you, okay? Awesome. So let's go. So what are those mistakes? So we're going to be discussing about why we don't have a big dream, why we don't take responsibility, um, why we don't have a mentor, or um, why we don't care about our health, lack of focus. We're going to be discussing about how to track our goals, how to work smart and hard instead of just working hard and not having any result. We're going to be discussing about how to optimize your time and how to use the deliberate practicing technique and how to take action. Okay, so those subjects are the principles behind the scenes for you to take action on reading a book, to take action on getting better in a technology, taking action on getting your certification, to taking action on getting a new job. So there are many things here. Those are principles that come before the technology knowledge and come before the any other thing in your career. Okay, so let's talk about the first one, that is uh, not have a big dream. So why is this a mistake? Because if you don't have a big dream, what will usually happen is that you're gonna get stuck in your career. Because if you don't have a big dream, if you're not ambitious, so job will be okay, right? And then you tend to accept to work in a toxic environment. You tend to be afraid of changing to another job position. You have low confidence. So there are many problems when you don't have a big dream. Um, so the first thing I can suggest you to think is to analyze why not you, because if there are people who achieved it, who achieved great things, why not you as well? Um, and Once you change your mindset that you can also get an amazing job, that you can also follow your dreams beside, even if someone else is saying that you can't achieve your dreams, um, you can do that, because um, if someone else did it, you can do that. A dream is not a magic as well, so it won't happen all of the sudden. If you continue taking the same actions, if you continue doing the same things, your dream won't happen all of the sudden. You have to take constant actions, you have to take deliberate actions so that you can get close to your dreams. Um, and one other thing that's very important is to have clarity of what exactly do you want. So have a specific dream. So is your dream to work on a big company? Is your dream to move to some other country to work abroad? What is it exactly? You have to know what is your dream, because if you don't know, you have no idea on what action to take. So what will happen is that if you don't have a specific dream, you're gonna end up procrastinating, and you're gonna make up excuses, and it's gonna be really hard for you to take action. So have a specific dream. What is interesting to you? It's to go abroad. It's to work in a fund company. Is to work at Google or at Facebook or Amazon. What is it? If it is one of those rings, for example, you can get the Cracking the Code interview book, because that will help you with your algorithm skills. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you on your interviews. One technique you can use to know better about your dreams is to write down them. Even if you are not sure about them, try it out. Just write anything that will get you going. You don't need to have a perfect dream. You don't need to have the ultimate dream right now. You just have to have something that will get you moving. The most important thing is that you have to be constantly growing. So that's the key thing, because if you are constantly growing, your growth will be compounded. And when it's compounded, you can achieve amazing things. But this compounding doesn't happen overnight. It happens with your constant training, with your constant action. So that's why it's so important for you to believe that you can achieve better. Because if you don't believe that, you won't take any action. So you won't even start. So you have to believe that you can do that. And even if you don't believe that you can do that, I encourage you to take action anyway. It can be a very small action. You can do 5 minutes of studying every day. If you think you don't have time, you start 5 minutes a day. I don't know, you can read an article, you can write an algorithm, you can start to use a new programming language, whatever you prefer. You can start to explore a new technology. So if you take the habit of like doing anything that will help you in your career, even if it is 5 minutes a day, that will be a huge boost, because like I said, uh, your actions will be compounded and you're gonna get better. And the better you get, of course, the higher is your salary, the higher is your confidence. Um, you you just become happier because once you are growing, once you are taking action to go to the next level, then you you naturally become happier. So don't be afraid of being ambitious. So be ambitious if you want to work abroad, if you want to work with cutting edge technologies, if you want to work on those big companies, you can do it. Just have to do the work. Just have to take strategic actions towards your goals, and it won't happen overnight. So patience will be uh, crucial for you. So you take the action, you focus on the process, and not in the result. Because if you focus on the process, you focus on your growth. Okay? If you have any questions, you can send a message on the chat and I will answer to you. Let's go to the next one. The second mistake is to not take responsibility. So that's a very serious one because when you don't take responsibility, you give away your power to someone else. And it's very easy to blame the government or to blame the education you had or to blame, I don't know, it can be anything, to blame the war, to blame anything bad that happened in the world. And then these end up to become an excuse or a story you tell yourself that convincing you that you don't need to take any action. So um, that's why it's so important, because when you start to blame someone else, it means that it's not your fault. So if it's not your fault, you can't do anything. You will be in where you are, because if it's not your fault, it's just something external that you don't have any power and any control over it, right? So what I recommend you instead is to take the power back. So anything that happens in your life that you don't have control over it, so I recommend you to take the power back for yourself. So for example, if you have many people around you who are toxic and who are putting you down all the time, you are responsible to be with these people, because if you don't take any action to cut those relationships, you are just like you have a responsibility on that. So if you don't cut the relationships with those people, what will happen is that you be down all the time and you never grow. So this is just an example. This is just an example. There are many other things we can blame. Uh, we can blame that I don't know, our parents didn't raise us in a good way. Or we can blame that we didn't have a good education, therefore we will never get an amazing job. So those are just stories that we tell ourselves and end up limiting ourselves. So you are always responsible for what is happening in your life. So it's very important. I know it's tough to have this mindset, but once you have this mindset, uh, you take control over whatever is happening in your life. So keep that in mind, that you are responsible, and take responsibility. If something is going wrong in your life, take the action to get better, to grow. And like I said, guys, growth doesn't happen overnight. It will happen over time. So it will happen according to the actions you are taking in your day-to-day basis. So accept that, have patience, because it won't be uh, like uh, like your growth won't happen overnight. It's a process. Just accept that. But once you change your mindset, it makes a big difference. Why? Because then you start going to the right direction. And when you go to the right direction, then you achieve amazing things. And uh, when you see yourself complaining about something, be careful, because you might go through the vicious circle that like you will attract negative people around you if you complain a lot. And if you complain a lot, it means that you're not making a lot of effort to overcome your challenges. So instead of complaining, try to think about the solution. Be solution oriented, because once you start complaining, you go through a vicious cycle where it's very difficult to leave. So it's difficult for you also to grow. So I recommend you to be solution oriented. If you're going through a problem and a challenge, it's actually a good thing. If you're failing, it's actually a good thing, because if you are failing, it means that you're doing different things. The problem is that when you are not failing, because when you're not failing, it means you're not growing, right? So I know it's not comfortable, maybe it's a bit painful, but when you fail, you grow, you get more mature, and you go to the next level. And also keep in mind to be solution oriented. So, guys, if you have any questions, I'm gonna check on the chat. Um, and okay, I have a couple of questions here. Samarth, Uh, Java Challengers content is really great and has helped me clear my concepts and many topics. Thank you, Rafael. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Samarth. I highly appreciate your kind words. Eduardo, could you give an example of being ambitious goal? Yes, Eduardo. To go to another country, I think this is an ambitious goal, because it's not easy to go to another country, right? You would have to change your routines, you would have to adapt to a new culture. It's a big life change, right? This is an example of being ambitious. Another example of being ambitious is to not limit yourself. It's not to limit yourself by what others are thinking. For example, I always limited myself because I thought I could never give a talk, because people used to say to me, "Oh, Rafael, you're too technical. Like, you can't give a talk." And it wasn't only them. I also thought that I could never give a talk because I was too technical and I couldn't. I just thought it was a limitation. It was a belief, a bad belief I had. But then I took action. I took small steps. I started giving talks in my job. And then I went to a local Java user group and I gave another talk. And then I expanded bit by bit. And nowadays I give talks in the biggest conferences in the world. So I started small. So this is one example of being ambitious. When you break your limitations and you do things that you thought that you could never do it in your life. So this is an example of being ambitious. Okay, Lucas has a comment. It's okay, it's in Portuguese, I can translate. So Lucas is saying that your challenges are simple and they are helping me out with my Java knowledge. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Lucas. I will continue with the presentation. Okay, number 3, not having a mentor. So what is the problem of not having a mentor? The problem is that you will grow if you don't have a mentor, that's for sure. But if you have a mentor, you can grow much faster. So that's the great benefit of having a mentor. So instead of struggling on one thing for a long time, you're gonna gain time. So um, the greatest benefit of having a mentor is to save your time, because time is something that you can never get back. So uh, I had my mentor a couple of years ago, and my career skyrocketed. Uh, I could give talks in amazing conferences around the world. I gained visibility in the Java community. I became a Java champion. So I'm not saying that just to brag about myself. I'm just saying that having a mentor has helped me a lot to grow in my career and um, to be a better person. Another great benefit of having a mentor is that your vision will expand dramatically and your habits will change to the better, and you're gonna become a better version of yourself. So your vision expanded uh, brings you great benefit, because you won't only grow on your professional area, but you're gonna become more confident even on situations of your personal life, and you're gonna be able to make decisions in a better way, so that you have a more a more comfortable life, a happier life. So another great benefit is that your growth won't be slow. It's gonna be exponential growth. So um, this is another great reason to have a mentor. And if you think everyone who is great in history had a mentor, so you can do your research. You can research about the biggest names in in history, and you're gonna find out that they had a mentor. The fourth mistake is to not care about your health. So why is that so important? Well, if you don't if you don't put the right amount of attention on your health, what's gonna happen is that your energy will drop to get things done. So your health is highly important, because a person who is unhealthy has only one wish: to be healthy, right? And the healthy person has many wishes, because if you're healthy, you can still do stuff, right? But if you're unhealthy, no, you can't do anything. So we think healthy is not important when we have it, but we also have to protect our health. And it's not that difficult to protect our health. Like, we don't need to do a crazy diet. We don't need to do a crazy amount of exercises. We just need to have some habits that will help us. For example, to eat some fruits a day, or to have at least 1 liter of water a day, or if you can, 2 liters a day. That will be a massive help for you. To do exercises, that's great. If you do exercises, if you play any sport, if you do a martial art, if you do dancing, those are great exercises, because they won't only help you with your health, but they will help you with your confidence. And when you get more confident, this will help you in your career, this will help you in your relationships, this will help you in many areas of your life. So, exercises are a vital part for your success that you can't skip, because if you skip it, uh, like, you might end up uh, spending your time in the hospital, or spending a lot of money in the hospital. So instead of spending your money in the hospital, create better habits. And like I said, doesn't have to be anything crazy. So if you don't exaggerate in junky food or anything that will make you unhealthy, um, you should be fine. And if you develop habits of doing exercise at least 3 days a week, I think that will be a massive help. Uh, you can go to the gym, you can run, you can do many, many things. And the best thing is that when you are healthy, you will be sharper as a software developer, just naturally, um, because there are many scientific researches saying that whenever we do exercises, we there is a process happening called BDNF, if I'm not mistaken. And what happens is that on this process, when you do exercises, your neurons connect to each other faster, which means that you can solve problems faster, you can learn faster, you can achieve more things faster. So there's lots and lots of benefits. And for us as software developers, I think it's even more important because we usually stay seated the whole day, right? So um, try to have regular exercises during the week. Stretch yourself, that's highly important. So if you can stretch yourself every day, that will be great as well. Um, and more examples, you can do yoga. Yoga is great for your body and for your mind. So those are a couple of examples. Like you can do anything. The important thing is to do exercises. It doesn't matter what. Okay, so if you have any other questions, let me know. Okay, no questions so far. Okay, the fifth mistake is to not track your goals. So when you don't track your goals, you don't know exactly where you're going. You don't know exactly how many hours you are investing for your goals and for your dreams. So I use a lot this Pomodoro technique, which helps me out to write my book. It helps me out to write my articles. It helps me out to contribute with the Java community. So this Pomodoro technique is awesome because if you don't know about Pomodoro yet, it's basically a timer. So I use this Pomodoro technique daily so that I can get things done. And basically, whenever I start the timer, I focus on my work and I don't look at my cell phone. I don't look at my Twitter. I don't look at my Facebook. I don't look at anything. I just focus and get things done. And I know, guys, it's very difficult to get focused nowadays because there are so many distractions. You receive messages on WhatsApp, messages on LinkedIn, you receive tons of emails. So it's very, very hard to filter information nowadays. But that's why Pomodoro is so useful because it gets you focused on your work and then you get things done. You can also use Trello. Trello is basically a Kanban where you can put some of your tasks. You can use a whiteboard, a physical whiteboard. This is good because if you use that, you can easily see it physically, and then you can track your goals very easily. You can even use Google CSV Sheets. It's free. You can use it, and it's in the cloud, and it's awesome because you can organize your tasks very easily. And then once you adopt those habits, you're gonna get your goals done consistently. And the great thing is that when you track your goals, you have dopamine release, which is a special hormone we have for having more motivation. So when you take something that you've done in your in your Pomodoro or in your Trello or in your whiteboard, whatever tool you like here, you can use uh, any of those tools. Whenever you do that, uh, you're gonna release dopamine, which will boost your motivation and which will build momentum for you to go to the next level. So that's why it's so important to track down your goals, because then you know where you're going. And this brings you a lot of motivation as well. Another important point, guys, is that um, you don't need to wait for motivation to tick, because sometimes motivation doesn't just come to you. I will give you a very practical example. If you ever tried to write a book, if you are waiting for your motivation, the odds are that you'll never finish your book, because a book is a long process, it's years. So there will be days that you won't have motivation to write the book. And the trick is to take action first, and then the motivation will come to you. So you take action first, you start reading, you start doing something, you start anything, you take action first, and then the motivation comes later. Because the odds are that in many days, you won't be motivated to do things, to study, to go to the next level. So that's why discipline is very important. Discipline is basically when you take action on towards your goals, towards something that you know that will bring you benefits, um, even when you don't feel like it. This is tough to do. And guys, successful people take action even when they don't feel like it. And unsuccessful people don't take action when they don't feel like it. So um, I know it's tough. I know it's a bit difficult to take action even when you don't feel like it. But I assure you that whenever you start taking action, your motivation will come. Okay. Do you have any questions, guys? If you have any questions, I will be here. I'll be looking in the chat, okay? So you can just send your questions if you have any. Lack of focus. Avoid too many plans, because whenever we have many plans, we usually don't take any action. I will give you a very practical example when I think most of us developers are going through that, because there are so many technologies nowadays that if we try to do everything, what will happen is that we will do nothing, because there are so many things to study. There a new technology being released every day. So avoid to have many plans, because if you do have many plans, you won't even move. You're gonna end procrastinating, because there are so many options, so many things that you have to think about, that you're gonna just give up. So learn only what you need. So what do you need exactly now for your job? What do you need now exactly to go to work for another company, or to go to work with technology that you really want to? So focus on those things. Focus on the things that are important for you. Because if you change focus all the time and you don't know really where to go, it's going to be difficult for you to achieve anything. So stick to one thing, get good at it, and move to your next level. But don't try to learn everything. That's the biggest mistake every software developer make, because it's useless. You're gonna try to learn everything. You're gonna spend many years, and the technologies that you are learning probably will be obsolete, right? So try to focus on one thing, and be careful when I say about focus. Be careful to not focus on just one tool, because if you focus on just one tool, you won't know the other technologies that you need to know to work, for example. Uh, so I'm gonna give you a very practical example. Let's suppose you are extremely good in Java, extremely good in clean code, extremely good design patterns, but you forgot to study about Docker, you don't know about cloud, you don't know about monitoring, you don't know about uh, uh, any other microservices concept that um, will impact you on your day-to-day work. So what will happen is that you won't be able to solve those other problems. You won't be able maybe even to run your own application, because most of the application nowadays, it's very popular, very common. I think the vast majority, like more than 80% of the companies are using Docker. So if you don't know how to use Docker, you don't know even how to run your software. So you have to know about environment variables, you have to know about containers. It doesn't mean that you have to know very deeply about Docker. You don't need to know very deeply. But you need to know at least the basics. You need to know how to use a Docker Compose. You need to know how to read a Docker file. You need to know how to use environment variables, at least the basic to run an application locally. So that's just one example. But stick to your focus. Be really good in what will bring you the most of the benefit. And if you have any questions, just send the question on the chat, okay? And there will be a special gift for you if you stay until the end. Uh, so I have something awesome for you at the end of this presentation. So stick to me so that you can have access to this gift. Um, Not work smart and hard. So this is also a bit related to focus. Because, for example, if you're working hard on something that doesn't make sense for your success, what will happen is that you are wasting your time. Um, so there are people who learn something and they don't even know why they are learning that. So you have to know why you are learning that. You have to know what is your focus. What do you want? What is the next level you want to achieve? Because if you know those things, then you can take action and then you can work hard and smart. Because if you work only hard on something that doesn't make any sense for you, what's going to happen is that you're going to be wasting your time. So, but also working only smart might be not enough as well, because you might be doing the right thing, but maybe not enough. Maybe you have to do it a little bit more. Maybe you have to work a little bit harder. And if you join both, if you work smart and hard, then it's a perfect match, because then you're gonna be doing the right thing and you're gonna be making it. You're gonna be working hard on that, and of course, you can always optimize your time. So if you are doing a side project, for example, and if you don't have enough time to work on your side project, you can always have a partner. You can always pay someone else to do a work that you don't have time or you don't have expertise on it. So, for example, if you want to work for a big company like Google or like Microsoft or any other of those companies, this is just an example. You can get good at algorithms. You can um, get good on interviews. You can do an interview. You can understand how the game works, and then you can eventually get approved on those companies. Or If you want to go to a specific country, if you want to work in a specific country, understand how is the game there, understand how are the laws in this country, understand if you don't have a visa, understand how to get a visa, understand uh, how things work. Okay, so I'm gonna see if you have any other questions. You have any other questions, guys? Okay, Neha has a question. Is there any recommendations for a book or tutorial designing on how to develop a microservice? Yes, Neha, I have uh, an article uh, on the Java Challengers website. I'm gonna send to you here. You can check it out. And there are many books there that I highly recommend you to buy the hardcover one, because yeah, those books are just books that will take your career to the next level. So those are long-lasting benefits books. So you're gonna find a microservice book there as well. So, and if you have any other questions, just let me know. The eighth mistake is to not optimize your time. As we know, guys, time is our most valuable asset, and it's very difficult. It's something uh, very difficult to manage nowadays because, like I said, there are so many distractions. There are messages on the cell phone. There are notifications everywhere. There are millions of emails getting to our email box. So it's very, very difficult to be focused and to manage our time very well. So one technique I use to optimize my time, and I could read easily more than 200 books during the period of almost 3 years, just by using my dead time. So the time that I was commuting, the time that I was cleaning, the time that I'm going to the gym, for example, I used to listen um, audiobooks, for example. I listen to podcasts. So those things have helped me out to understand the world in a better way, and it has helped me out to bring value to you here right now. For example, I think that without this knowledge from the books, it would be very difficult for me to be giving you this value. So books are extremely powerful, and if you read the right books or the books that will bring you a lot of impact, it might change your life for real. So that's why I highly recommend you to adopt this habit of listening to audiobooks while you're doing something else, um, because this will also compound in your life. Um, and you can also use your money to optimize your time. Let's suppose you have a project and it's a bit difficult for you to finish it. You can use your money, for example, to pay someone else to do some things that you need, but you can't. For example, you can pay someone to clean your house while you're doing your project, or you can pay someone to do the marketing of your product or something in that regards. You can use your money to pay someone else to do something to optimize your time. Okay? So if you have any questions, guys, just send in the chat. I'm gonna answer to you. Not to use deliberate practicing. So what is it? That's the only way to master technology or to master a concept. So deliberate practicing is basically the constant action you take to do something. Deliberate practicing is an action you take in a strategic way that you know you will become better by taking this action. Um, and it's important for you to take action in a way that you get better, because if you take action in a way that it's that won't help you, you'll be just wasting your time. So whenever you are studying anything, whenever you are taking action to master a new concept, make sure that you are taking action in the best way as possible, in a way that uh, you are learning the most, in a way that you're growing the most. Uh, and like I said before, guys, proficiency will never be achieved overnight. It requires constant work. It requires constant action. But don't confuse when I say constant work and a lot of action with crazy amount of work. No, it's not that. So deliberate practicing, it's something you plan out in your day and you take constant action. For example, for you to get really good with coding, with algorithms, and so on, um, you can, for example, reserve 30 minutes of your day. And if you do that daily, over in a year, you're going to have lots and lots of practicing. So um, you don't need to put crazy hours of work. You just need to be consistent and do that constantly. Because if you do that, then you're going to be achieving deliberate practicing. And like I said, that's the only way to craft your skills and to become better. And consistent practicing is the key. So if you take action consistently and constantly, then you're gonna go to the next level. And it's not, you don't need to put crazy hours of work every day. You just need to be consistent. That's the most powerful thing you can keep in mind. To be consistent will bring you a very high level of success. And guys, if you have any questions, send the question in the chat because I will answer to you at the end of this talk, okay? So any questions about career, about career challenges, questions about the topics we're discussing here, because then I can help you to overcome your challenge in your career. And the 10th mistake is to not take action. So guys, no idea work unless you do the work. I know that's obvious, but it's important to emphasize that if you have the knowledge, if you are the most knowledgeable person in the world and you don't take any action, is the same as nothing. So knowledge is not power. Actually, real power is action. Is when you can use your knowledge and put it into action. This is real power. Because if you just know things and if it's just in your head, it's not concrete in the world. You have to make it concrete. You have to take action. You have to create things. You have to do the thing that will help you to get your objectives. So you have to know what are your objectives. And take strategic action towards your objectives. So don't take a random action to get what you want. Take strategic actions. So be very strategic on your objectives, because then you're gonna get to the next level. I think this is gold. I read that in the book Be Obsessive or Be Average from Grant Cardone. I really like this book. I highly recommend you to read it. But I learned this quote from Grant Cardone. He said, "Do it even if you don't feel prepared." And that's what highly successful people do. So you won't be prepared. You won't be fully prepared for the challenge that will come up in your life. Sometimes you won't be prepared to go to a new challenge on a big company or a new challenge with new technologies But still, if you have your mindset calibrated to learn the things you need on the way, that is what you need. You don't need to know everything beforehand. No one does. No one knows everything beforehand. And sometimes you're gonna get uh, such a big challenges, and see those big challenges as the other as a next step for your success. Because if you see those challenges as something that are a threat for you, it's more likely that you won't take the action. So I recommend you to take the challenge, because that's what will make you grow. And it's highly important for you to have this mindset to do it, even if you don't feel prepared for it. I have an example. I was invited to give a talk in one of the greatest conferences in the world, Oracle Code One, and honestly, I didn't feel prepared for that. Uh, but I took the challenge anyway, and I went there and I gave a talk. People liked it, and it was amazing. Um, so I had to have build up my courage and accept the challenge, because I know that this would be my next step for my growth. And if I did it, you can also do it. So do the things that get you scared, because that's the way to make you grow and to make you go to the next level and to be happier and to be more confident, and to achieve better things in your life. It's far more risky to not take any risk. If you play very safe, and for example, if you think that um, not moving to another job, or to not study to that new technology you are really interested in, if you think that uh, it is risky to try out this new job, or a new position in your company, or whatever you want, um, this is a mistake, because it's far more risky to not take any risk, um, because this is just an illusion. You think you are safe, but you aren't. So if you're not trying to get another job in other companies, what can happen? What might happen is that you're gonna get very comfortable at your job. You won't grow. You won't be sharp technically. You won't be a sharp coder. And what might happen is that the company you are working on might go bankrupt, or suddenly something might happen, and uh, you might get fired. So to not take any risk is far more risky. Why? Because uh, we have just an illusion that we are safe. But the thing is that if we don't take any risk, we uh, we don't have any chance to go to the next level, because then it's just we are just being comfortable, and we are not stretching ourselves to go to the next level, and we get unhappy, right? We get unhappy when we are not taking risks. We think that it's just meaningless, that we think that our jobs are meaningless. We think we are not making a difference. We think that we're not causing an impact for the company. There are many bad feelings. So it's far more risky to not take any risk. So take the risk. And I'm sure that if you take the risk, you're gonna say that it's you won't regret. You will realize that it was the best decision you ever made. Because when you take the risk, you go to the next level. When you don't take the risk, you feel low, you feel not confident, you feel that you can't get amazing things in your life, and That's the thing. Like, you have to take a risk. Of course, not a foolish risk, a calculated risk, right? And then, like, chances are that you'll thrive. Chances are that you have success. You just have to have the courage and to build up your courage to go to the next level. Okay? So if you have any questions, send in the chat. I will answer to you now. Okay? And let's recap. So we talked about the mistake of not having a big dream. So if you don't have a big dream, you don't believe in yourself. So and you won't achieve high in your career. So it's important to have a big dream, even if other people don't believe in you, and even if yourself don't believe in yourself, don't believe in you. Okay. The mistake of not taking responsibility. If when you're not responsible, you give away your power. So you are powerless to change your life. So that's why it's a big mistake. You have to take charge of your life. You have to be responsible for everything that happens in your life, because when you are responsible, you can change things, right? Not have a mentor. It's important to have a mentor. Why? Because you're gonna save tons of time, and you're gonna be far more precise in your goals, and you're gonna grow far more quickly. Not care about your health. Why this is bad? It's because if we don't have health, the only thing we're gonna wish in life is to be healthy. And if you're healthy, you can do a lot of things. You can travel. You can think about your dreams. You can do lots of things. Lack of focus. If you don't have focus, you're gonna do a lot of things that are meaningless. So focus on one thing that will bring the benefit so that you can reach your next level. Not track your goals. It's important to track your goals. I personally use the Pomodoro Technique. You can use any other technique you like, but it's important to track your goals, because then you know what you're doing and you see progress. Otherwise, you don't release dopamine, you don't see any progress, and then it's far more likely that you will stop. You won't create momentum on your goals. Not work smart and hard. When you work too hard on something that doesn't make any sense, it won't make you grow, because if you're working hard on something that won't bring you any benefit, you are just wasting your time. So work hard and smart, because then if you do that, then you can achieve amazing things. Not optimize your time. You can listen to an audiobook while you're doing your exercises, while you're commuting. You can listen to podcasts. You can do many amazing things. Not to use deliberate practicing. So deliberate practicing is the only way for you to go to be really a specialist and to be really, really good at your craft. And the better you are in your craft, the better jobs you get, and the more valuable engineer, the most employable engineer you're going to be by using the power of deliberate practicing. And you can ask the very best developers in the world. All of them use deliberate practicing. Even if they don't know the concept of deliberate practicing, they use that. And of course, if you don't do this last step, everything I told you here, everything I said will be just useless. Because like I said, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is just knowledge. It's just in your head. But if you don't take any action with this knowledge, it's the same as nothing. It's useless. So the 10th mistake is to not take action. So instead, start small. Take a small action. So if you don't have time, maybe you can do 5 minutes something a day. Or if you don't believe in yourself, try to do something small. If you don't believe you can give a talk to a friend, to one friend, and then you build up your courage and your confidence. You start doing things bit by bit, because everything for us guys, we can build our skills, we can become better. I proved that to myself many, many, many times. I wasn't like I didn't have the courage to give a speech uh, uh, in the past. And nowadays, I'm giving a speech to you. I am a speaker. Um, I give many talks in many big conferences, and nowadays I build up my confidence, and you can do the same. You can build up your confidence. You can give talks. You can start in your job. You can then give a talk to a local conference, and then you can build up your confidence, and then you can expand your growth. So take action. It's very important. Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself, because that's another huge mistake people make. Because they start taking action, they start like taking massive action. They never went to the gym, then they start going 7 days a week in the gym. That's a big mistake, because what is very likely to happen is that you're gonna give up, because it's very difficult to go to the gym 7 days a week, and you don't need to do that. You can start small. This is just an example, guys. You can apply that to everything. You can apply that to studying. You can apply that to get better in a programming language. Uh, but there are people who go who starts to go to the gym 7 days a week. What happens? They give up. So instead of starting with massive action, start small, build up, because discipline is a muscle in the end, right? So go bit by bit, take small steps, because then you can grow, because then you can do that with consistency, right? So that's my suggestion to you guys. And um, rock on, you finished the webinar, and that's the gift I was promising you guys. So I will offer you the Golden Lessons book. That is $10. I will offer you also the Challenger Developer course. So the Challenger Developer course is a very detailed and in depth course about uh, those principles we were talking about here. So we talk about no procrastination. I talk about the hot technologies in the market. I talk about how to negotiate your salary to possibly double your salary. I used the same technique and I doubled my salary. You can use. There is also the section about communication, because communication is very important in interviews. It's very important uh, when you are when you want to convince your coworkers. It's very important for you to go to the next level, because if you are only technical, it's great, it's amazing to be strong on your technical side. But when you join both, when you are a great communicator, when you are great at coding, you become someone, an engineer that will just exceed um, your like your skills in a massive way, and that will make you highly employable, and it will make you an excellent engineer, because then you can cause great impact in the company by being a great communicator. So, and you're going to be also learning about how to boost your CV. So there are a lot of things in this Challenger Developer course, and I just I put everything there for you, so that you can use those techniques and you can get the best job as possible. And uh, you're gonna also get 45 to 1 hour conversation with me. That is from $145. Um, and the total value of all of those things would be $245. But as you finish the webinar, I can give you all of this. I can give you the Golden Lessons book, the Channel Developer course, and the one-on-one conversation about your career with me. Everything for 19 and 99 cents. So this is a move in your career that will certainly make a big difference. And I will make sure that we have a great conversation, a great one-on-one conversation. I will make sure that we can talk very carefully about your challenges, and I will make sure that I can help you to go to the next level. And you're gonna also get the Golden Lessons book. The Golden Lessons book, uh, like I gathered all the information, all the knowledge from several books I read, and I made it very consistent and very easy to understand. So you're gonna get the essence of how you can calibrate your mindset to be an excellent software engineer. So to get advantage of this of all of those products, you can either use the link, or you can use the QR code. Okay, I can also send the link to you if that make things easier, because then you can access it in a more convenient way. And guys, if you have any questions, just let me know, because then I can help you out. Okay. Okay. Who else have questions? Emning has a question. Okay. Can you recommend some good podcasts about software development or Java? Yes. So I think I wrote an article about that, about Java. There is a podcast, Java Pub House. You can take a look. There is the InfoQ podcast as well, which is a good one. I can send the link. And guys, this promotion won't be available afterwards. So if you don't take action now, you can't. You won't be able to get it later. Okay. So if you can take action now, go ahead. We're gonna have our one-to-one conversation. You're gonna get access to the Challenge Developer course, and you're gonna get the Golden Lessons book as well. So there is the full pack for your career growth that you can just access. You can just get this massive value for your career and for your growth. Any other questions, guys? Emin had this question about the podcasts. What do you recommend for interview preparation? I recommend the Cracking the Code interview book. I think that's the best one. And I can share it with you again here. There's an article I created. You can take a look at. So the Cracking the Code in Interview book is there. You can just buy it, and that will help you in your interviews for sure. And any other questions about your career challenges or anything else? So Let's see. Eduardo, Neha, Lucas. Who else? Mauro, Vladimir, Leandro. More questions, guys. If you have more questions, take the chance, because then I can help you out. We can discuss about your challenges, and then you can go to the next level. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, guys, I will leave the link here. You can make the purchase of those products until the end of today. Okay, and I can send the link again here on YouTube, or you can use your QR code, whatever you prefer. So if you can't do the purchase now, you can do the purchase until the end of the day today. So that should be okay. Awesome. So guys, if you don't have any other questions, I think we had an amazing webinar, and I'm happy that you participated in this webinar. And I really wish the best for you. I wish high level of success. And awesome. Thanks a lot, Vladimir, for your very kind words. Excellent talk, as always. I wish you all the best. I wish all the best to you as well, Vladimir. Neha, thanks a lot for your participation here. And guys, let me know if you have any questions, or if you want any special material, any special content. You can just send me an email, or you can send a message on Twitter. I'll be engaging with you for sure. Okay? So I wish you the very best, guys. Have an amazing evening, and we keep in touch. Okay? Thanks, Evandro. Awesome to see you here. And that's it. See you the next time then. Bye.